Namaskar. I am Professor Deepak Bansal from Indian Institute of Finance. I am taking a lecture series on computer application in finance. Now, if you see today, computers has become an essential part of everyone's life. Most of our day-to-day operations are performed by computers. When you talk specifically in the area of finance, computers have come a long way, right from designing of balance sheets, conducting analysis, doing computations in working capital management, working on minimizing tax liabilities, and so on and so forth. I am starting from introduction to computers in this series, and this is series one. Now, we will be dividing this entire series in different sections. We will be starting up with the introduction to computers. What exactly is a computer? Now, when you're talking of this device, which is electronic device called computer is basically electronic device that processes raw data under program control to generate meaningful information with speed, reliability, and accuracy. Now, if you look at this definition, this is a generic definition of computer. If you look at this definition of computer, it automatically gives you various characteristics of computer. If you look at the definition once again, computer is an electronic device, which means this device is working on electronic signals, which is basically two states of electricity, which is on and off. That processes raw data. I will just take you to these technical definitions of data information under program control to generate meaningful information with speed, reliability, and accuracy. Now, when you're talking of this device computer, it is capable of performing millions of computations, billions of computation, and it does it much faster than what a human being can do. Now, if I take you to the characteristics of computer is basically, as I have just given you a definition, it performs a large amount of data and generates information. Now, what is data and information? When you're talking of data, if I say 23, 23 by itself does not give any meaning to a user, to somebody who looks at it. But when I say attendance of Mr. Ram is 23 classes, it becomes the information. 23 is given a value and it becomes a complete information which goes to the user and user is able to understand it. So that is what is the difference between data and information. And between this data and information comes computer, which is going to process this raw data and generate meaningful information out of the data which we supply to the computer. Now, when I say processing, it processes the data and information with a very high degree of accuracy. Obviously, accuracy is dependent upon input that we give to computer. Now, when we are talking of computers, the concept of garbage in, garbage out. If we provide a wrong input, we cannot expect a right output to come out of computer. But if you whatever input that we supply to the computer, it with a very high degree of accuracy, the computer will be able to process that data and generate information out of it. Now, speed in processing, computer can, I just told you, computer can perform billions of calculations much faster than what a human can. It should be given a information, and once the information is provided, it should be able to process that information very fast. And obviously sharing of information. Now today when we are talking of computers, we are talking of networks, we are talking of internet, we are talking of sharing of information. Now, if you go to internet, any information, any topic that you are looking at, you can get in a fraction of a second, be it be located on any server across the globe. Now, that is what the computer can do. That is what basic characteristic of a computer is. Now, when you talk of bits and bytes, Now, what is a bit? Bit is basically uh, a single digit. That could be 0 or 1. Now, when you're talking of a computer, computer cannot understand our language. Computer cannot go by what we understand, what we speak, or what we write. Whatever we supply to computer, it is converted into bits and bytes. When I'm saying bits and bytes, a single digit which could either be 0 or 1. If you look at the transparency here, computer can understand only zeros and one, where 0 will show uh, uh, off state of electricity and 1 is on state of electricity, which means if you're talking of an electric bulb, 1 means the bulb will glow, 0 means the bulb will not glow, it will be switched off. So when you're talking of a bit, bit is a single binary digit which is either 0 or 1. A combination of these bits is what how the computer works. Now when you're talking of uh, a byte, byte is basically a combination of zeros and ones. Now when I'm talking of a byte, byte is basically a combination of 8 bits. Combination of 8 bits will give me a single byte. Now this byte is also known as octet. Now, if you're talking of 4 bits will give me a nibble. Now, if I take you to the slide next, now if I say I want to store a number 25 inside a computer on a 8-bit machine, you could count the digits 0, 1, it is 000110001. These are 8 bits. That means one single byte. And if I need to store 25, which will be converted into the binary equivalent, we will be taking how the numbers and the digits and the alphabets are converted into binary equivalents in a later lectures. Now, 25 would be represented inside a computer as 11001. But when you store it in an 8-bit computer, it will be preceded by 3 digits to make it an 8-bit number. Now, inside a computer, if you see, it is showing off, 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 on, off, off, on. This is how a string of bits will be stored inside a computer. Now, digital computers work on this principle. The computers that we are talking, the laptops, the desktops that we work on, they all work on this kind of a this principle. Similarly, if I look at it, 179, it is stored to be in a 8-bit computer. 179, when it is converted into binary equivalent, it is 10110011, and this is how it is inside the computer. It will be stored, which means on, off, on, off, off, on. And these strings will be taken together, and then the computation inside the computer takes place. Now, if I go to the measure of measurements inside a computer, I just told you bit is 1 or 0, a single binary digit. Combination of 8 bits give me a single byte. So when I talk about kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, and terabyte, this is how the bytes combination will give me all those measurements. 1024 bytes will give me one single kilobyte. 1024 kilobytes will give me 1 megabyte. 1024 megabytes will give me 1 gigabyte, 1 GB, and 1024 gigabytes would give me 1 TB or 1 terabyte. Now, why computers? Basically, before I go ahead, let me just give you advantages of computers very quickly. Uh, Advantages of computer, I just told you very high level of accuracy. If I am giving a computer right input, I can expect the output which is going to come out to me will be with very high accuracy, very less calculation mistakes if the program is correct. It works very fast, billions of instructions carried out in a single seconds, in a single second. It can transform data into meaningful representation. I just told you the basic advantage, the basic invention of computer was basically to convert data into meaningful information. So you attach meaning to the data, which will become information and which can be used by the users. It can work for hours continuously. Now today, if you are talking of modern computers which are coming today, you switch on the computer and go on working it. 24 into 7, the computers can be switched on. You are not required to switch it off. Although earlier versions of computer were generating a lot of heat and were required to switch off. But today's computer can work for hours continuously and give you the results. And obviously, it helps in a very high level of automation. Coming to the disadvantages of computers cannot think by themselves. Computer require humans to supply inputs, and then the computer can, using the technology, computer can take a decision. It cannot learn new things by itself. Again, humans are required to provide the inputs to the computer, and they cannot take independent decisions, which means computer can take a decision, but it will be under a program control. Who's going to write a program? A user is going to write a program. So ultimately, it is a user who is going to provide the input, or it is a user who is going to write a program, and using that program, computer is going to work. So it cannot be an independent machine. It has to be uh, it is dependent upon a program control which is going to run that machine. So that is again a very, I would say, disadvantage. But now, if you are looking at modern computers, if you are looking at artificial intelligence with coming of robotics, machine level learning, the things are changing. Now computers are becoming much more independent. Computers are they are able to take decisions on behalf of on behalf of humans. Now, if I go into the classification of computers, the computers can be classified into what is based on purpose, based on function, based on size and capacity, and based on technology. Now, these are four broad parameters on which we can classify computers. Now, if I start with the classification based on purpose, the computer can be divided into two parts: general purpose computers and it is special purpose computers. Now, when I'm talking of general purpose computers, computers are versatile. Uh, you can use a computer for studying. You are using a computer to listening to this lecture. You are using a computer to watch movies, playing games, making sales analysis, preparing balance sheets, doing inventory management, doing payroll management, all those functions. A single computer can do any general purpose requirement that I have. I am not required to buy separate computers to handle my to prepare a balance sheet, to prepare to play games. I can buy a single computer and go on to do any purpose, any job that I have on it. Then we have special purpose computers. When you're talking of a special purpose computers, these are basically designed to accomplish a particular task. If you're talking of a special purpose computer, scientific applications, such as, say, if you're talking of space applications, if you're talking of simulation, if you're talking of weather forecasting, now these are the areas where a special purpose computer is required. 24 into 7, when you're talking of weather forecasting, the computer is there and it is noting down the data which is coming from satellite into the computer and is able to store that data, analyze the data, and give forecasts. So that is how a weather forecasting computer works. It does not do any other job accepting input from satellite, converting it into a forecast, and delivering it to the customers. When you're talking of classification of computer based on functions, it is divided into three different parts. One is analog computers, one is digital computers, and one is hybrid computers. When you're talking of analog computers are basically computers which work on physical magnitudes, uh, continuous measurement of physical magnitude, such as it could be flow of water, shaft rotations, it could be measuring length and breadth. Now, if you're talking of an analog computer, and if I give you an example of a car, the speedometer of a car, it is an analog device. How does it give you the speed? It counts the number of rotations of the wheel of the car, and accordingly the speed is calculated. The tire of a car has a specific diameter. Now, once the tire rotates, it is going to cover a specific amount of meter, and that will be converted into kilometers, and that is how the speed is displayed. Now, if I am talking of a car, there is a thermostat included in a car, which means if the car engine heats up, automatically fans in the car will start and cool it down. So that is all what is analog devices. Now, when I go to the digital computers are basically the computers that we all use. These work on two discrete digits 0 and 1. I just told you. Now, when you're talking of any work that we people do, be it studying it on a computer, being it doing a financial analysis, preparing a payroll, generating mark sheets, conducting online examination. Now, these all work are done on a digital computer. Digital computers store large volume of data, while analog computer does not store any data. It just calculates measures the physical magnitude and passes it on. Digital computers can store large volume of data, and then comes the hybrid computers. Hybrid computers are basically combination of analog and digital computer. Now, when I say analog and digital computer, hybrid computers will basically a combination of process control, a combination of analog and digital computers. Now, when I say analog and digital computers, if I go into example of process control devices, boilers. So boilers, once I'm talking of a boiler is able to take care of the the liquid inside the process control device or a boiler is heated, and once it reaches a particular level, the air conditioning around the boilers start automatically so that it cools down. Similarly, when you're talking of hybrid computers, they are finding their way in the medical area. Now, in hospitals, modern hospitals, we have hybrid computers which are attached to the human body, which is going to measure all physical magnitudes, which could be temperature, blood pressure, heartbeat, the oxygen level. And once there is a variation, automatically the medical, the injection is injected into the human body even before a doctor can come and attend to the patient. So that obviously helps in improving medical care. I will be taking up the next classifications in the next series, and then we will be going to start with the different components of the computer system in series 2. Thank you very much. Namaskar.